There we go. Hey, David McGuffin here. Welcome to Travel Talk Tuesday. We are in 2023, December the 19th, 2023. Thank you guys for joining in online. And we've got a house full of people here in my home in Middleburg. Gosh, it kind of feels like Christmas markets here because it's kind of turned cold for us Floridians. So we're having a good time. We've got a fire in the fireplace and a lot of friends sitting around for Travel Talk Tuesday. So, gosh, 3 years ago, the 1st of December, 2020, we were all pining away and down in the dumps and going on the coronavirus pandemic. And March that year, earlier, everything shut down and we didn't do a thing. And I kind of moped around and did nothing but refund money to people and everything else. And so finally I said, forget about this. I want to get back to at least talking about travel. So in December, Leslie and I kind of brainstormed and said, we're going to do a weekly series during this pandemic about our travels in the past. And so we put it together and we signed up with Zoom and Facebook and Live and everything else. And we began with the Zoom webinars and Zoom meetings, I guess, first, and then Zoom webinars. And we've been going strong for 3 years now. So gosh, over 160 episodes later, we're come to the end of December 2023 after 3 years and celebrating those 3 years that we've done. And we've presented and produced Travel Talk Tuesday, and also sort of sadly saying goodbye to the almost weekly Travel Talk Tuesdays. But don't worry, we'll do it maybe 5 or 6 times a year, every couple of months, and we'll have a special Travel Talk Tuesday. So I can tell you what we're doing in Europe, all my travels and everything else. So we've had a great time. We've just come back from our annual Christmas markets tours. Usually I do 2 or 3, and the Eastern European Christmas market tour, we've had shut down since the pandemic. And then the war in Ukraine kind of creeped in and prevented us from going to Poland and everything else. But we're going to reinstitute that next year in 2024. And so we'll have 3 Christmas market tours on the books, which is our typical classic Christmas tour, which addresses the regions of Salzburg, Austria, Bavaria, which is everything, Munich, Rothenburg, Nuremberg, all of that area. Then the one we just completed, which I call my Christmas markets tours, Germany, France, and Italy, GIF. And that's we're going to chronicle that tonight. And then reinstitute the Christmas Markets East Tour, which will begin in Munich and will end up in Budapest. So we'll do all of those next year, shortly after Thanksgiving, for 3 weeks in a row. Bam, bam, bam. So with that said, let me go ahead and get going with our presentation for tonight, which is we begin in November the 25th, I think. A lot of us flew over to Frankfurt, Germany, from the United States, and we arrived there on a Saturday night. So let's go with that one, Leslie. And I'll talk through it. And anybody in the room, in the house, feel free to chip in on anything going on here. This is Charlotte and I. We're in the club in Atlanta. We're very fortunate to have Delta Sky Miles and log in a lot of miles and get a lot of perks with Delta. And so we were able for $1,800 to fly first class right there, using some of our perks to do that all the way to Frankfurt, Germany. That's the main train station in Frankfurt right there. Hey, David McGuffin here. We have arrived in Frankfurt for our annual Christmas markets tour here at the end of November. I'm chronicling this because this is going to be part of our Travel Talk Tuesday on December the 19th about what we're doing and where we're visiting here on our annual Christmas markets tours. So stay tuned, keep with me, and tune in on December the 19th, either in person or online at our annual Christmas get-together at our home in Middleburg, Florida. Until then, your adventure starts right here with David McGuffin's Exploring Europe. So let me stop it there because it was very unique that we arrived in Frankfurt, and in previous years, we've never arrived a whole week before Advent began. And that particular Sunday, 1 week before Advent, in Germany is known as the day to remember the dead, those who in your family who've passed away, and in reverence, you remember them. So everywhere in Germany on that Sunday where we were going to begin our tour was shut down. All the shops, all the restaurants, and all the Christmas markets for sure. So that really messed up my plan where we were going to begin our tour, because I had to punt because I've never encountered that. So we went ahead and we found one market in Frankfurt, which I just showed you, in a little neighborhood south of Frankfurt across the Main River. And so we went there and we went to that Christmas market, and it was great. It was about maybe 20 or 30 little stalls with people. And I think Frankfurt was really missing their big Christmas markets. And so we were able to go and experience that and had a great time there in Frankfurt. So we went to sleep at our hotel. The next morning we got up and we went across the border, and with the Rhine River kind of divides Germany and France there. And so I'm going to go ahead and we'll talk about our first day of the tour, the 26th, which if you look online, it says we go to Heidelberg. Heidelberg was closed because of the Day of the Dead celebration and remembrance. So we went across the border in France. They don't care about that. And we had a great time in France. So you can see right here, I've kind of drawn a border, France, Germany. That red line is our route that we traveled down from Frankfurt. And so we went in France, and the solid red line is called the Route de Vin. In French, the route of the vineyards there in the Alsace region. And this is kind of what it looked like. We got the Vosges Mountains on one side and the Rhine River, and then the Black Forest on the other side. So a big valley. And we ended up going to this town of Kleberg, and we went to this winery in Kleberg. I'd never been there before, but I called ahead and said, hey, we don't have anything to do. Can we come by? And we had a great time here in Kleberg. So we toured the caves, and this gentleman, hey, Johnny. Yeah. Do you remember? This is Johnny Turner. He's a veteran with Travel Talk Tuesday. He was on the very first episode that we ever had. But do you remember this guy? What was his name? Do you recall his name? Who? Gilbert or something? Gilbert Joubert. And he warmed up to us very, very quickly. And so he toured us around. And how many wines did we taste? Seven wines that we tasted, because we were only going to be there 45 minutes. And then we're moving on to our next destination. Well, after 2 hours, and it was already dark. After 2 hours, we had to shuffle out. So here's one of the songs we learned there. And that's in the Alsatian dialect, you know. And then after we got there and finished there, we headed on down to Strasbourg, and that was our destination for the next 2 days. And then we had dinner. This is the group there. We had dinner at a place called Chef Uncle Freddy's restaurant, one of my favorites there on the little island. And it was a varied menu. But it was all Alsatian menu, which is baked stuff, sausage, or most people had the best meal was, what'd y'all have? The chicken pot pie, or who had that? Somebody had that. So nobody remembers what they had. By that time, I wasn't sure what I had. They'd already had a lot of wine at the winery. but that was the best, whatever that was. I think Randy and them had that, but we'll go on. So the next morning we got up and we toured the Cathedral of Notre Dame, Our Lady in
Hey,
Strasbourg.
David McGuffin here. I'm inside the cathedral here in Strasbourg, France, the Notre Dame of Strasbourg. And this massive cathedral built in kind of red sandstone from the nearby Vosges Mountains took over 250 years to build. It was begun around 1179 or so, and not completed until the middle 1400s. But this is a massive cathedral, similar in size to the one in Notre Dame in Paris as well, and but just a beautiful example of Gothic architectural style.
A few of us went to the market after we toured that, and then we went to this little restaurant I'd never been to, so I checked out. We'll go back again. So I had this pizza, but there was some veal that Charlotte had, and I think Gloria, y'all were with us there on that restaurant too. It gets dark early, 4 o'clock. It's dark at this time of year, but that means the whole city is illuminated. Lights.
Hey, David McGuffin here, still at the Christmas markets in Strasbourg. It's turned a bit rainy tonight, but it doesn't dampen the Christmas cheer at all. We're at the main Christmas tree here in town, in Place Clever.
Every street has a different theme as far as the visual and the lighting decorations. Yep. Johnny's very flamboyant in his dress, so when you see an orange coat or a yellow coat, you know it's Johnny. Okay, green sweater, you got it. Yep. This is right at the market. There's 13 Christmas markets in Strasbourg. I don't know how many people got to all of them, but we hit at least 6 of the major ones. And this is the one you can see the cathedral there in the background, right at the I guess that would be the north side of the cathedral. We encountered a little bit of rain that day, but it certainly doesn't dampen the spirits. That night we also went to eat. I don't even have photos of it, but we went to eat at one of my, well, I guess my favorite place in Strasbourg. And Johnny and Sharon and Gloria went with us, and Eva, and we had a great time with my friends, Chef David. I'm trying to turn that. I'll stop right there. We went to this restaurant, Table Gaillot, which is a Place Gaillot, and it's behind the cathedral. And I found this little hole in the wall probably 15, 20 years ago, and met the chef, and the chef and the one waiter. That's it, you know. And so I've been going back there year after year after year. They won't take groups, so I just kind of have to go in and give them a call and say, hey, I'm back in town again. How many can you take? Well, we got into all 6 of us. We had a great meal with the salad with goat cheese and the filet and all of that, and just a great experience with them. It was wonderful. The next morning we got up and we headed across the Rhine River back into Germany and to the Black Forest region. And so I'm paused right here because we weren't expecting this. We crossed, it was raining. And as we ascended up the hills into the Black Forest Mountains to a level about, let's say, 3,000 feet or so, we began to encounter this snow.
Hey, David McGuffin here. We are in the Black Forest, the Schwarzwald, but today it's the Weisswald, the White Forest, because we're at about 3,200 feet here up on this on the high road through the Black Forest. And little did we expect this much snow, but it's an adventure for a lot of us because we're not from where snow is. So we're having
They're all looking
a
at the
great
guy who fell in the
day
snow
so
over
far
here.
here in the Black Forest in Germany.
This is the world's largest cuckoo clock. Listen carefully. Oh, there we go. There's David laughing. Nearby, this is the village of Freiburg. And this is a
Hey, David
waterfall that is
McGuffin here
beautiful.
on day 3 of our
I kinda
Christmas
feel like I'm
markets
smoking.
of Germany, Italy, and France tour. We are in the Black Forest today in Germany, just to the east of the Rhine River. And this is the Triberg, T-R-I-B-E-R-G, waterfall. Beautiful place. We're right in the heart of the Black Forest where cuckoo clocks are made. So our agenda today had been leaving Strasbourg, heading to an overlook in the Black Forest, this town of Freiburg and the waterfall, and then on to the town of Freiburg for tonight, for the evening.
Freiburg is the largest city in the area, not very large at all. My friend Rod says here, you can walk from one side to the other and just tip. That is not correct. Beautiful Christmas market here. These are Jeannie and Tom are on the tour. They're from Colorado. And they were having their first breakfast.
We better have it. Hey.
When you go on these tours, the Christmas tours, we hit a market every day and they begin to look the same, but after you drill down, you see that there are different vendors and different crafts, different cuisine.
Hey, David McGuffin here, continuing our Christmas markets tour on day 4. We are in Lindau, Germany, located on Lake Constance, or the Bodensee, a huge, huge lake between Germany and Switzerland. And this is the main street up here called Kaiserstrasse. And the town, as you can see during this time of year, is a bit empty, but the locals are out. We just had a little dinner down the way here.
Oh, it's right
a
there.
really good stop for lunch and fantastic views across the lake to the Swiss Alps. Hope you enjoy this look around the Bodensee. Your adventure starts right here with David McGuffin's Exploring Europe. Hey, David McGuffin here from Schwangau Village. Behind me is Castle Neuss. Castle.
So this is kind of
From,
an impromptu
gosh.
stop. I do it when the weather is good and when you can see, because sometimes these castles are obscured with a layer of fog and you will never see the castle, but the weather was perfect and it's right on our way. So we deviated here in Schwangau to see from afar the castle Neuschwanstein and Schwangau, which is the famous home of the next to the last Bavarian ruler, Ludwig II.
The late 1800s.
Look at all that killing.
And so we've had a fantastic day out on the road, snow-capped villages. We were at Lindau earlier, and now on our way to Reutte to conclude this, fourth day of our Christmas markets, Germany, Italy, and France tour. Hey, your adventure starts right here with David McGuffin's Exploring Europe. Hey, this concludes our 4th day of our Christmas markets of Germany, Italy, and France. We'd love to have you join us sometimes. We have 3 different Christmas market tours that are all over Europe in the month late November and early December. We'd love to have you join us sometimes. Check it out at davidmcguffin.com. Your adventure starts right here with David McGuffin's Exploring
So
Europe.
all of those photos you just saw were a group eating at my friend's hotel, which is called the Alpen, the Alp Hotel, Ernberg. And I've known Herman, who owns the place, for 30 years now, maybe 25 to 30 years. And have started going when he owned a hotel out in the countryside, and now I go back year after year after year. Any tour that gets within 50 miles of his hotel, we stop because it's just a chill out night. We can go there, check into our rooms, chill out, go to the bar if you want to with all the locals, because it really is a local place. And then they have fantastic food and everything else. We don't have to get out. We don't have to walk, don't have to do anything else. And so it's always a wonderful opportunity. We do that on a couple of our Christmas markets tours and on our Germany. What is that? Germany, Austria, Switzerland tour that we have a couple of times a year as well. Thank you, Leslie. Come here. Do they even know who Leslie is? Yeah. There we go. Leslie's the big helper. She's the one that gets everything set up for me. So if it goes wrong, it's her fault.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is really exploring Europe with Leslie.
Yeah, exactly. Right. You got it.
Because of Leslie.
You got it. Yeah. So you could see a lot of snow there. We left and we had to go across a pass, Fern Pass, from Austria, across Fern Pass down to Innsbruck, and then across Brenner Pass into Italy. So we're going down into Italy now. You can see it's kind of gotten out of the snow a little bit, but we're in the highest mountains we're going to experience on this tour. Dolomiti. Hey, David McGuffin here with my glue vine. I'm at the Christmas market here in Bolzano, Italy, in the Dolomite region. I don't know how many people got to this little place, but there's a bar looking down into that area. It was cold. Charlotte and I went in for a drink, but we could only stand one drink because there was no heat or anything there. But a good view. This is a view from our hotel room. And here's our group right in the main square, Piazza Volta, as well. The next day, we took a cable car from Bolzano, which you see here, up into the mountains. And if it was the summer, winter, spring, or fall, or summer, spring, or fall, those vineyards would be full with beautiful vines and grapes and everything else. Right now, they're lying dormant, but a great cable car ride up to the place called Oberbolzano. Hey, David McGuffin here. We're high above the little town of Bolzano here in northern Italy in the Dolomite Mountains. We've gone up to the village of Oberbolzano. Well, once we got up there this year, it was and then taking the pretty much fogged in. To the next village. You can see there's a lot of snow and everything, but we had a great lunch with probably at least half the group. And this little train runs back and forth. It's a 20-minute ride back and forth from there to the next village down called Renon. And there's some Christmas markets up there as well. So I hope you enjoy back down today. Bolzano. Visit the towns above Bolzano, Italy. Your adventure starts right here with David McGuffin's Exploring Europe. Hey, David McGuffin here. We are in transit from the south in Italy up to Munich. We're in Austria right here, and as you can see, the snow is coming down in full force. We've been very lucky on this tour, I guess you would say, that we're here on a Christmas markets tour. Yeah, so let's go back full screen for a minute. So let me pause for Bolzano here because it's a unique destination. If you go there in the summertime, we go up to these alpine meadows that are at 7,000 feet or higher, and just beautiful hiking trails and everything. Of course, snow up there and everything else. I see Rod back here behind me. He's got his Christmas hat on. Come here. Rod's a veteran travel. I'm talking about Bolzano, but do you recall the time that we were in Lauterbrunnen? remember we hiked way up into the mountains and the girls were in flip-flops, right?
Yes, shorts, flip flops, and one big guy who was definitely afraid of dying off the cliff,
Yeah.
which was a snow. He was just falling in snow, but he was
Yeah.
pretty freaked out by that.
And so we like got our ponchos out and slid down the snow. This was in the summer.
Yes,
Slid down the snowbanks. And then we were way, way up high at the Schilthorn. And so we started hiking down from Berg and a snowstorm came in, right?
yeah,
Or
wind
something.
and all that. It's like,
And we had some park rangers or people saying, "What are y'all doing here?" Say, "Well, we're hiking down to Lauterbrunnen." And so all these kids, they were in my band, you know, and we were just oblivious to the weather, incoming weather. But one of the girls hurt her foot or something. You had
Yeah.
to carry her down.
yes, it made memories. We
Yeah.
made a lot of good memories.
Yeah, right.
That's what we do. We make memories.
Yeah, and that was oh my gosh, I don't know how many years ago, but that's where Rod and I met each other and started hanging out with each other, and here we are again, 30 years later.
Still doing
Right?
it, you know?
Yep. Thank you, man.
You're
Appreciate it.
Enjoy his trips.
Yeah. So the same sort of thing up there in Overbozen, because we were up high and you know, it was we weren't expecting snow up there, but there was a bit of snow, and we encountered so much snow on this particular trip. It was incredible. And so the day I'm talking about now, we're on gosh, the 6th day of our tour, the last full day of our tour. And we're leaving the mountains, the Dolomite Mountains, and we're going to Munich to have our final time in Munich and our last dinner together. And then, my gosh, the snowstorm of the century came in, and we didn't know it, but we were in the record snow that occurred in Bavaria since they kept keeping records. And we're going to try to get back to this video. That's it. So we're at Brenner Pass right here.
If we only had a
We love it to be a winter wonderland. And most of the days we've experienced some snow. If not that, cool temperature is great. Blue
Hey, there's Charlotte. in the back
everything
there.
to go along Christmas markets. We're on our last day actually here, and we're heading on up to Munich for the Christmas markets there. Dinner together. Well, in a little village called Schwabing, just to the north of Munich City Center. I'm standing on the tram tracks right here on top of me.
So we made it to Munich.
Bavaria here has seen the most snow that they experienced in the last 20 years. And we experienced it driving into town today and tonight. So we're interested to see what city center of Munich is going to hold for us. But for now, we're having fun playing in the snow.
I think I read a thing that said it was a car stop.
See, I don't know what's wrong with this.
They tell me that this in Munich is a 20-year.
I'm gonna stop it there for a second because our driver, Martin, was fantastic from beginning to end. But he told me the morning we got on the bus in Italy that we're going to encounter a whole lot of snow today. And, you know, I thought, okay, we're going through the mountain pass. But the snow was even worse when we arrived in Munich. And it was seriously hip deep. And he navigated that bus right to our hotel door. We plowed through the snow with our luggage and everything else and got checked in. And we had an agenda because I had to take everybody downtown to the big square, Marienplatz, and also to have our dinner together. And so that's what we're doing. So right here, you're looking at the area on this picture right here, a photo right here, where the market is and the maypole and everything is.
Record snow. Look at these people. They're sliding. It is not safe, but we have to go walk to dinner tonight. And market down here. On the snowiest day in Munich in 20.
So I want to tell you that, Johnny, you got to come in here because we got to talk about this salmon. You know, because we found several years back, there's this little kiosk that sells the best roasted fire grilled salmon. Tell us about it.
we sent everybody in the opposite direction. And David and I went to get the salmon sandwiches, and we waited in line
30 minutes,
like
right?
true Americans. And then we get to we're next up, and they have to reset.
Right, they didn't have any fish that was finished cooking. So
Yeah.
and they
So-
cleaned everything, right?
Yeah, so we had to wait 15 minutes, but we did.
Yeah.
And we got our 4 sandwiches to go.
Mhm.
And then I'll let you tell
Yeah.
them how
So,
you spilled our food.
right, so I had them in a little bag. I had them in a little bag, they gave it to us, which we didn't even know we could get it to go. Now I know from now on. And so we took off walking, and I mean, the streets were covered in snow, and underneath the snow was a 6-inch layer of ice. So have you ever seen the cartoon like Tom and Jerry or something, and Tom just falls flat on his back? Well, my feet went right out from under me, and I went down, and I hit on my left rib cage, and I was laying flat on the ground before I even knew it. Everybody was coming. Johnny had already left me. He didn't even know I fell, I don't think. But everybody was coming. Are you okay? Okay. You know? And I said, I don't know, man. I didn't hit my head, thank the Lord. But it took me a second, and I got up, and Johnny said, well, you dropped the dang salmon sandwiches. So I got up, and we hobbled back. And luckily, Charlotte and Eva had gone into a place that one of the beer halls, and they got a table. So we walked in there. I reset myself, and we sat down and had the salmon sandwiches. So we did our experience there. But that was an unbelievable, the most snow I've ever seen in Munich in my life. But I must say the salmon sandwiches were great. And Charlotte and I left, and we went on for the next day or two, and it was cold. It was like a freezer in our car. So I nibbled on the sandwiches for 2 days.
5 years. We just finished dinner. Right here.
I'm great at sleep. That's first rate.
There were no refrigerators. Yeah, Jim, you were asking about the, here, let me let this go.
So from you, I'll be the same.
Yeah, so Jim, the markets in Munich, everything was open. They had to make money. So nothing shut
Hey,
down.
David McGuffin here. We are in Austria.
So after the group left, which- okay, that was an experience in itself. Because Munich was snowed in, train stations were closed, airport was closed. So when did y'all finally fly home?
We flew home Monday, but that was scheduled for us.
Okay,
We had
so,
scheduled for Monday.
okay, what about you, Randy?
Tuesday morning.
Tuesday, so 2 days later, and that was most everybody else in the group, right?
Yes.
Uh,
Except Bobby and Amber.
Bobby and Amber from Texas, they were,
Wednesday, I think.
yeah, Wednesday or Thursday. Yeah, good for travel insurance, for sure. Make sure you purchase that. But I think that they finally got out and everybody got back home. In the meantime, Charlotte and I stood in line for 6 hours to pick up my pre-booked rental car in Munich in the freezing cold. And then we headed out to this next area called Hallstatt.
I'm gonna videotape issues.
Okay. But Jim, the markets went on without a hitch in Munich and everywhere else. Okay, we're trying to move on to Hallstatt, but what's going on here?
Frozen on Facebook Live.
I shouldn't have stopped it. Here you go.
I don't.
Let me stop the share. Okay, I'm stopping the share a minute. I'm gonna let Leslie reshare it, okay?
Let's try it
And
again.
we'll move on back.
All right. Share
I think it
screen.
might be because I'm empty on my wine. It's not working correctly. Nobody's getting up to 4 anymore.
I got you.
Okay.
I think there's water in that cooler.
It's still,
This is what we do.
it's not playing now with quick.
Uh, any red is, yeah, I'll take that imaginary.
Wait, like close the camera. Let's do that. Okay.
Okay, sorry, guys. I think it's the cold weather in Middleburg, Florida that's screwing us up here.
All right. Let me close this and reopen it.
Red. In the meantime, we have a few weeks off here, and then we begin our travel show season. And we're gonna on weekends, we're at various places throughout the United States. We basically have a booth, a 10 by 10 or 10 by 20 booth, and we set up with a big placard, David McGuffin, Exploring Europe. Somebody hand me one of those booklets back there. And people come by, here's one right here. People come by and ask us about traveling to Europe, and we got a little catalog here. And I just realized that probably most everybody in this house, if you've never been to a travel show, you probably don't even have one of these booklets. But we do that and we promote our tours, and it's really great. We start out in Chicago, we go to Denver, we go to LA, we are in Phoenix, Washington, DC,
Here we are in
and wherever. Okay, I'll talk to you about it later. Here we go.
We're not. Same side.
Austria, a little section of the Salzkammergut Mountains, just south of Salzburg. And this is the town of Hallstatt. So back behind me is a lake. And this is the main town square of the old town of Hallstatt. We've arrived here on, I think, the first Sunday of Advent. We're going to look at Hallstatt tonight and tomorrow morning. So I hope you enjoy this look around. Your adventure starts right here with David
I'm not going to
McGuffin's
stop this
Exploring Europe.
anymore because we run into problems. So this is a lake fish. It's a bony lake fish. And if you like fish, it was really good.
Hey, David McGuffin here. We are in
If you
Austria.
like bones, then pick them
A
out.
little section of the Salzkammergut Mountains, just south of Salzburg. And this is the town of Hallstatt. So back behind me is a lake. And this is the main town square of the old town of Hallstatt. We've arrived here on the, I think, the first Sunday of Advent. And the square here is alive with krampus. There's 3 or 4 little krampuses running around. And they're here
This
to
is funny.
whip
This
your
little
hiney. Because
4-year-old kid came
maybe
up
I
and
was a
whipped my
bad
hiney.
boy, so I already got whipped by one of them already. But we're going to look at Hallstatt tonight and tomorrow morning. So I hope you enjoy this look around. Look at this. Your adventure starts
Look at
right
this
here
guy
with
coming.
David McGuffin's Exploring Europe.
He hit me hard.
Hey, David McGuffin here. We are in Austria, in Hallstatt, Austria. Hallstatt is an ancient Celtic place. There's evidence of the Celts being here from 1000 BC or so. And as a matter of fact, there's an era called the Hallstatt era in history because this place was famous for salt mines right here in the mountains, right here above me. This little town was made famous also by the Habsburg dynasty, Emperor Sissi and Franz Joseph and all. And so this town that you see here behind me, the Catholic Church behind me and everything, is a result of that era of the Habsburg dynasty. Beautiful place. I'm hoping that we see some snow elsewhere, but we're heading on south down into Croatia and Slovenia today. So thank you for bearing with me, but I would love to invite you on our Christmas markets tour every year. We have 3 of them. Check it out at davidmcguffin.com. Your adventure starts right here with David McGuffin's Exploring Europe.
So I had been to Hallstatt years ago, actually with Rod, who was here earlier.
Hey, David McGuffin here.
23,
Welcome to the
4
Christmas
years ago.
market here in Bled, Slovenia. Lake Bled right here. Market's down below,
Rod
the
never been to
castle up
Hallstatt or Bled.
top. We're right at twilight. You can see some lights just illuminated down there on the water as well. Haven't been here in, boy, 20 years or so. So we're looking forward to spending a couple of days on Lake Bled and experiencing the Christmas market down here as well. Hope you enjoy this little look around. Lake Bled. Your adventure starts right here with David McGuffin's Exploring Europe.
The next day, Charlotte and I went up to the castle. And even though I'd been there a few times, I'd never been up to the castle. So we went up there and toured the castle and had lunch. That was a great experience.
Hey, David McGuffin
I
here.
think I'm
We
standing
are
in the
on
castle.
beautiful Lake Bled in Slovenia. And
What do you
we're
think about
standing
that
up on
blue
the
jacket?
ramparts of the
It's,
castle,
it
high
might-
above the
it
lake,
might-
and out
It
beyond
might
us
be
is
resemble
the
Johnny.
picturesque little church on the island in the middle of Lake
Yeah.
Bled. This is a beautiful place. We're just over the border from Austria through the Julian Alps, and so we're checking out, see what's happening in Bled today.
Yeah, right. Just jumping out. Next is fuchsia and chartreuse, right?
Hey, your adventure starts right here with David McGuffin's Exploring Europe. Hey, David McGuffin here. This morning we're in
My first time
Ljubljana
ever in Ljubljana.
Slovenia. This is the main old historic center of town, and it is my first time ever being here. So on camera, I'm not going to tell you a whole lot because of these square names and the words and everything in this language is a bit different. So I'll have to look those up and let you know, but we're going to walk around this old historic town. Up and down this river really is where it all happens. There's a castle back up here this way and the main square, and it looks like the Christmas markets are back here to my right. So I hope you enjoyed this look around this morning in Ljubljana.
So this is the capital of Croatia.
Okay, I've come to the end of our walk here in the
It's not
city
there.
center. I'll fill in all
capital
the
of
blanks
Slovenia.
as I go on and learn more about the city of Ljubljana. But I hope you enjoyed this look around. Your adventure starts right here with David McGuffin.
Nearby, just across the border, is Zagreb, the capital of Croatia. Okay, so we were here in Slovenia. Croatia is here. Ljubljana is just in this area here. So we're going to go all the way over here to Osijek. And Charlotte and I were guests of the tourist board in this area of Slovenia or Croatia called Slavonia. Don't mix it up with Slovenia, which I did often. And so it's like a state in Croatia, but it's very far to the east. And we were going there to explore it because it's part of our Budapest and Croatia tour that we're opening up for September of next year. So we were very impressed with this wine region, Goldberg wine region. It's little houses that were cellars back in the day. And now they have upscaled it to upscaled Airbnbs and everything else. Look how cute that looks. And it's just a traditional dining and wine from right in that area. This is Billy is how you pronounce this, wine caves. And it's very affordable. I mean, the wine was €4 a bottle there. And it was very drinkable, red and white. And gosh, we bought several bottles of it and they gave us several bottles. We had to leave it in Budapest because there's no way we could drink all the stuff they gave us. So the maids in Budapest got it. These are the vineyards high on the hill, and this is a fish soup. So river fish, paprika is a main ingredient there. So I love the soup and the noodles much more than the fish. And then we went to this place called Jokova, which is famous for raising the stud forms for the Lippersdottir stallions. And here is where all the mares and the foals are. And they run wild for 2 years. And then they're divided up. Who's going to be trained, who's going to be sent to the royal courts and everything else. But it was a great experience. And like I say, the tourist boards in all of those areas just treated us fantastically. We had a guide every day. I think Charlotte's talking about the horses because we both had
Yes,
horses when
Yvonne. Yep.
we were children, and we got to meet the trainer or the guy in charge of the farm.
So they go out only in the
So
spring,
the Lipizzaner are
during the
born
winter
black,
time,
and as they
are
age, they turn white.
in here.
Mm-hmm.
So this is it's called, it looks like Dakovo, Dakovo, but it's the D with the line is Jakovo. This is a grand cathedral there in that town. This restaurant and the tourist board took us in. We had the best meal ever, not ever, but the best meal in Croatia here with this wine, this potato soup, tomato soup. I think I had. They gave us these little donut looking things that were not so sweet. And then I had a filet and tater tots. That isn't what they call them, but it was really good. Salad with goat cheese. And Charlotte had a veal that was to die for, she said. So a very good meal. Tourist board set us up, so I know where to go. And then we went down underneath the church to the wine cellar. This is the church. This is the wine they use in communion. Yeah, so yeah, right. And then our guide took us to this local guy, a blacksmith, who is well known throughout the whole region. And if I were to pan around in his shop, there's all kind of stuff there. But he made us a couple of horseshoes, and he's making this nail for Charlotte. I didn't know what it was for. Listen.
Yeah.
This is for
There you go.
for a husband.
But that was a fantastic experience just to see the local artists in there. Yeah, right, two more. This is inside the cathedral. These cathedrals, they look old, but they're only built from the late 1800s. And there's this particular bishop who I cannot recall his name right now, but they would chastise me because I can't, because his name was mentioned every 3 minutes for tours. And he was a friend of the former pope. And so it's just amazing. These churches are, oh my gosh, fantastic.
Hey, David McGuffin here. Welcome to Jakovo, Croatia. This cathedral here is proclaimed by one of the latest popes as the best cathedral of the church between Venice and Istanbul. And we have just toured it, and it is wonderful. We've had a wonderful young lady who's been our guide today and shown us around this town. We've learned so much here, and I look forward to showing you around Jakovo, Croatia. Hey, until you get to come here with me, your adventure will have to start here with my photos today. See you later. Hey, David McGuffin here in Osijek, Croatia. It's in the region of Slavonia, not Slavonia, but Slavonia, a region in the far northeastern portion of the country of Croatia, far away from the Adriatic Sea. But boy, we have had a wonderful experience here the past 3 or 4 days. I'm standing here at the cathedral here in Osijek on a cold, blustery, and rainy Sunday morning. But as you can see, the cathedral here dominates the skyline dating from the late 1800s, and just a great time. We're planning a trip to visit this area along with the seaside of Croatia as well. And we do that, we're going to do that hopefully every year in the fall. We'd love to have you be a part of this. And in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you around the area that we visited both here in the wintertime, what it looks like, and in the fall. So I hope you enjoy this experience of looking at Slavonia, the far reaches, the hinterlands of Croatia.
So you see a resemblance between Jakova Cathedral and Osijek Cathedral. They're contemporaries, built at the same time, funded by the same bishop. So this is the The Drava River, I had to look at it coming through this town of Osip. The Drava and the Danube have their confluence right here in the area of Osip. We're there on a Saturday morning, but it's about 11 o'clock, but the weather was kind of bad and nobody was out. I went back there later that night. Even though it was raining, there was no like the whole town was out. So we're just kind of getting a little look at the town. And it's Christmas. That church, I'm going to talk about it in just a second.
Oh, wow, really?
To rebuild it completely.
So,
it's not demolished.
So Rod is asking the little houses, every Christmas market is good. And it's vendors either of crafts, handmade items, or food, wine, whatever. Now, this is called the Branje, and they were very proud of this area because it's where the two rivers come together, and it's a swampland. We're from Florida, North Georgia. It's like the Okefenokee Swamp. You know, how many of y'all have been to Okefenokee? Yeah. You know, there's no alligators there, no snakes, but that's basically what it is. And so they were very proud of it. It's a tourist attraction. Here we go. They got boardwalks and everything. We can get on boats and ride through it. And then we went to this place called Chingalinga, and we had our final dinner here in Osik. Our guide and our tourist board was so gracious to take us this. I had that tomato soup everywhere, and with paprika, and it is just divine. Charlotte had goulash, which is Hungarian goulash. I had some kind of
Okay, from the main square here in Osik on a blustery cold winter morning. I hope you've enjoyed this look around the region of Slavonia in Croatia, and I hope you will consider traveling with us on our Best of Budapest and Croatia tour in the coming years. Hey, your adventure starts right here with David McGuffin, 640.
So we drove 3 hours north to Budapest. And Budapest, I think, is becoming my favorite European city as far as grand areas. These little trolley cars are all Buda is the hill in the background. Once the two cities were connected with bridges, it became Budapest. This is the chain bridge, signified by lions, meaning strength, just like our bridge in St. Augustine, right? Mm-hmm. It's a little bit more impressive. And we're looking across to a grand fortress, the Castle Hill in the Buda area.
Hey, I'm standing here on the River Danube, and this is one of the iconic symbols of Budapest, connecting the village or the town of Buda across the river behind me to the flatter town of Pest over here on this side. This is the chain bridge. It was built in 1842 to 1849 by, believe it or not, a Scotsman employed by the Hungarians to come over and connect these two cities and make Buda and Pest become one, being Budapest. This bridge is guarded by some lions down here on this end, and of course it goes across to the hilltop castle complex of Buda.
This is a very poignant memorial. Shoes. So the Jews during World War II were marched here to the river bank and shot. They fell into the water, and those shoes signify the memorial for that happened. This is the Parliament House.
Hey, David McGuffin here. Welcome to Budapest. It's in the middle of December here, and the Christmas markets are thriving full speed ahead on a Sunday afternoon. If you're going to travel with us on a Christmas market tour to Central Europe, we will more than likely end up here in Budapest for a couple of days, and you will experience this grand city. Wow, it's just so famous for the Austro-Hungarian Empire, the Habsburgs family, but it's also a city of 2 million people, and it looks like about a half of them are out experiencing this wonderful day Sunday afternoon. Hope you enjoyed this look around Budapest during the Christmas markets. Hey, you can't experience the Christmas markets without some great food, and here in Budapest, this is a great example of what they have on offer here. Many cheeses and noodle dishes. Of course, there are some fried pancakes over here. Roasted vegetables. All kind of sausages here. You just can't.
In Budapest, more than any place we visited, they had full meals. You could just, it's a buffet. The only problem with getting the buffet is then you have to go and sit down in the cold. And if it's 50 degrees or 40 degrees, then it gets very cold. This guy, they were selling these things like, yeah, right. Fried potato chips. But they have it all, more than anywhere we went. Budapest has the buffet. You don't have to go to a restaurant.
Hey, the Hungarian Parliament building is behind me here, and although it might look real old, it dates from the late 1800s. 1896 was a huge year in the celebration of Hungarians, and this parliament was built right there in the 1890s, so it could be established and set as the Hungarian Parliament building at the grand celebration of 1,000 years of Hungary.
Well, tell them to get in here. We're coming to the end. Look, I mean, look how beautiful it is at night. Yes. I'm still in the Pest area, looking across to the castle area of Buda. But can you see why I say I think it might be one of the grandest European cities? That's the Castle Hill and St. Matthias Church.
Well, perhaps you can see why I'm beginning to believe that Budapest is one of the most grand illuminated cities in all of Europe. After twilight and when all the lights come on, it is just a dream world.
So this is my last day in Budapest. I think I logged about 19,000 steps each day, and my feet are still hurting from that. But I wanted to get out and show.
Hey, David McGuffin here in Budapest still. A beautiful day. It's cleared up and sunny skies back in the background. I'm on this street right here called Váci Utca. Váci Utca. It's the main pedestrian street in Pest city center, and it kind of parallels the river for about, maybe 400, 500, 600 yards or so. And as you can see, pedestrian only, and a lot of people out here in this holiday Christmas season. Budapest Central Market Hall is here behind me. This is open every day of the year except on Sundays, so let's go inside and take a look around.
Now, I go here, I went specifically here to buy saffron, and I was going to buy paprika, but I was given paprika earlier as a gift in the tour, but saffron, and you could get it for €5. What's it cost here? Like $60 a little gram? I think there's a lock on the cabinet over there. These guys are standing in line for funnel cake, which was the first time I ever saw it was here in Hungary. They just wait all over. This is the subway in Budapest. The top of the line is food Budapest. So it's only like, yeah, I said funnel cake. Right? This is a heroes. There's a bath down there, and a memorial to revolution.
Hey, David McGuffin here. I've made it to Castle Hill up in the Buda section of the city of Budapest. The river's behind me down the hill, and this is the Christmas market up here at the St. Matthias Church.
December. There is no shortage of Christmas market. So if you want blue vine, the jacket is still that wax every building. So no shortage. At St. Matthias Church, St. Matthew's Church. And then I drove Charlotte up to Castle Hill later on that night. We went to this very posh restaurant and got these little fruit dishes, like 10 courses and everything with great views across the water. We spent like 3 times more than we needed to, but it was a good way to end our tour there. And I'd never done it, so we better do it. Yeah.
We've had a great dinner down here at the castle, and the markets are here, but everything's closed down this late at night, and we're just almost here by ourselves. So what a great way to end our experience at Budapest. So from here, the Castle Hill in Buda, your adventure starts right here with David McGuffin's Exploring Europe.
Let's go back. And we're going to close this out. Give us 5 minutes to close all that. Thank you guys for being back here. We got bratwurst on the grill that we're ready to eat. We've had plenty of hors d'oeuvres already. We've had some blue vine and everything else. But let me bring in a few people at a time, because we're kind of concluding normal Travel Talk Tuesday. So I first have to tell you that you probably all know that for 30 years I was a band director, and I'm so fortunate to have some of my students that just can't give me up and keep on working with me. So Leslie, Danielle, and Wayne, you guys, they all help me out. Where are you, Danielle? Oh, there you are. So Danielle has done a whole lot of writing. So if you've read Italy guidebooks or anything else, Wayne works a lot on the website and everything else, editing. And of course, Leslie handles anything. If you want to talk to anything about exploring Europe, she knows more about it than I do, and especially with Travel Talk Tuesday as well. So thank you guys for keeping up the tradition on that. And then everybody else, let's all back up here. Everybody pull in. Everybody here,
Molly.
everybody here. This is my favorite. Hey, Molly. Hey, my favorite friend, Molly. Yeah. So, but everybody here has traveled with me somewhere, someplace, and we've had a great time. So now we're going to close out real soon, but is there anybody that wants to say
Give a
anything?
testimonial.
Oh, not even a testimonial, just say, hey, thank you guys for coming and for being a part of Exploring Europe, being a part of me, whether it's a band director, a friend, or whatever. I really do appreciate you guys being here. And
I have listened to David talk about the Christmas markets forever.
Come over here. Oh, we already right there. Yeah.
And I've always wanted to do it. And finally I had the opportunity, and I'm telling you, I was completely satisfied. It was a great experience.
Yeah.
I highly recommend it.
I even took Gloria. I don't even remember the village we went to in the rain that night.
Murano.
Okay. Yeah.
Murano.
Yeah, Moreno. And we went in the rain because I said, I'm gonna go. I've never been there, but we're gonna go. And it was pouring down rain, but it was the most beautiful lit village.
Oh, yes,
But it was
they
wet.
have lights.
Yeah, no
But
doubt.
we were prepared. We had umbrellas.
We were, we're ready to go.
No one else did.
Yeah, we're ready to go.
Well, Randy and I wanted to see snow because we hadn't seen snow in about 20 years. We didn't expect to get 2 feet of snow and then to have to stay over an extra few days, but it was great. I loved it.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah.
You guys.
Johnny and Eve.
I was on my way to the beach. And I ended up in Europe. If you just read what David's literature says about Christmas markets, it's the greatest. It'll make you want to just quit whatever you're doing, your job or whatever, and hop on the airplane and go with him. And everything he promises, he delivers,
And
including snow.
yeah.
Sometimes a little bit too much.
3 times? 3 times?
3 times.
Christmas parties.
Yeah. I don't know that you do any other tours. But I just-
Right.
I'll say, if I can get in the camera here. I've been on 2 of the Christmas markets. I met David through the Chamber of Commerce more than 10 years ago. And 5 years apart, I did the magical Christmas markets, starting with Salzburg and ending in Munich. And then last year I did the one in France, Germany, and Italy. Loved them both. It's magical, especially for us Floridians that don't get snow, to be able to go over there. It really makes it feel like Christmas, and had some of the best meals of my life. So thank you, David. And I love my friendship with David and Charlotte. And so
Thank you, Leah. I
just
appreciate that.
really love being a
Thank
part
you.
of it.
Yeah, for sure.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
And if you,
One question,
yeah.
when is the check coming for all of us?
We have bratwurst on the grill. And with that said, thank you guys for tuning in tonight with Travel Talk Tuesday. I really appreciate all of you tuning in over the years, and we're not finished. We're just kind of finishing out the weekly type of Travel Talk Tuesday. Like I said, we're going to do it maybe 5 or 6 times a year, but thank you for being faithful to us and for being a part of Travel Talk Tuesday. Okay, until next time, your adventure starts right here with David McGuffin's Exploring Europe.
Merry Christmas.
Merry
Merry Christmas.